What is this object? Real quickly, this is beside the sun. A couple of years back, one of my most incredible captures is an object burning up near the sun's corona, north side of the sun on top there, and this ginormous object. That's right. Planet size, it would be a hell of a big planet going by because it's bigger than Earth, and you can see it just coming out of nowhere from the left. Watch it. It appears, why does it appear close to it? Because the sunlight is reflecting off of it, showing us this object. Just like the objects on the moon, a lot of objects I would not be able to capture. These are one of my favorites. Absolutely sensational. Look at it. Look at the size of this object. There's lots of objects roaming around out there.
At some point in the past, the entire universe would have been a single point of highly dense matter. Does this sudden explosion of nothing into something sound like a miracle? Does it sound like this could be the creation that the Bible describes? Paul Davies, the physicist and evolutionist, in his book, The Edge of Infinity, describes the Big Bang this way. He says, the Big Bang represents the instantaneous suspension of physical laws, the sudden abrupt flash of lawlessness that allowed something to come out of nothing. It represents a true miracle. Is this the creation? Well, despite its popularity today amongst laypersons, the theory has always seen aggressive criticism from those in the field. The term Big Bang, in fact, was actually coined by the astronomer Sir Fred Hoyle, shown here as a mockery. Hoyle readily saw through the fallacious assumptions behind the Big Bang Theory and called the idea preposterous. In a BBC radio series of his called The Nature of the Universe, he said, Big Bang cosmology refers to an epoch that cannot be reached by any form of astronomy. And in more than 2 decades, it has not produced a single successful prediction. Sir Fred Hoyle. In 2004, an open letter to the scientific community was published in New Scientist journal that was signed by 229 scientists. The signatories affirmed the following. They said, an open exchange of ideas is not tolerated in Big Bang theory. The Big Bang today relies on a growing number of hypothetical entities, things we have never observed. The Big Bang theory cannot survive without fudge factors, things you have to put in there to make things work. In no other field of physics would this continual recourse to new hypothetical objects be accepted. And the Big Bang can boast of no quantitative predictions that have been validated by observations. Despite the derisive origin of the term and its many challengers, the theory has nonetheless become mainstream, not only in astronomy, but popular media as well. Well, since the Bible says God stretched out the heavens, could there be a purpose for this expansion? Everything has a purpose. Everything in the creation has a purpose. Only an atheist would assume that there are things within the natural world that have no purpose, like junk DNA. Only an atheist would assume that there's DNA in your genome that's junk. Well, could there be a purpose for the expansion? Well, Don DeYoung thinks so. Dr. Don DeYoung has a PhD in physics from Iowa State University and is a professor and department chair at Grace College and is the president of the Creation Research Society, which is one of the big creation organizations in this country. There's Answers on Genesis, Institute for Creation Research, Creation Research Society. Creation Research Society is one of the organizations that has a quarterly journal. But anyway, Don DeYoung says this. He says, in the creation view, the universe expansion may well be reality, but the Big Bang interpretation is entirely unnecessary. Instead, the universe was most likely created in an expanding mode for stability. Without expansion, gravity would cause the universe to begin to collapse back on itself. Many other motions, like the orbits of planets and the rotation of stars and galaxies, also serve the same function of providing a stable, dependable universe. So interesting that. Stretching out the heavens could have been done by God in order to stabilize the universe.
It's a giant ice-covered planet that has a warm, saltwater ocean beneath that could very well harbor alien marine life living under the water. But if you notice in the image here, as NASA implied, this, in my opinion, there's no way it's a shadow because it's not even touching Jupiter. That's plain to see. It doesn't look like Europa. Europa is relatively, pretty round. So if it was a shadow, first of all, it's not being reflected on the planet. You could say, well, it's being reflected on some of the gas that surrounds Jupiter, but I don't buy that. When I look at this looks like a solid object with very sharp details, especially, with the wavelength and the graininess of the image. It's still very sharp with this diamond-like shape. And so I have done many past videos about the various enigmas surrounding Jupiter, the unidentified objects that have been captured surrounding Jupiter as well as Saturn, UFOs within the rings. Jupiter is a very strange planet. It's a gas giant. It has the massive red spot on it, which nobody really knows how that came to form, but nonetheless, this dark object, it looks like a structure. It doesn't look like a shadow to me.
So let's see it again. The image can look sharper on the left because it wasn't as clear as the image in 2022. So let's see it one more time. It takes half an hour for your eyes to adjust to the surface. That's another thing also. So we're approaching those craters. Take your time. They're to the left of the mare. Now on the left, the circle on top and bottom, those two craters will change. And on the right, that's the outcome. I'm going to show you now what the differences of the two sides are, the updated editions. So on the right, 2022, two images side by side, 2 years difference. The construction over 3 years period of time is in the circles that I'm going to put up, and I'm also going to explain what the differences are. We're going to be focusing on each side on the supposed crater on the top. There's two objects, like, duh, you understand? So the one on the top, on the right, has an extra addition compared to the one on the left in 218. I'm going to get an arrow up to tell you what I'm trying to explain, and in reality, if you have eyes, you can see it already that it's a lot bigger. Here, this is 2022. There's the wall. And now let's go look on just the 218, the same crater. I'll get an arrow up and show you that there is no wall. So there. I'm going to show it again so that your eyes adapt. There's the nice line, two really nice long line, many kilometers long. And on the left, literally no line. It's missing. Plus, the construction of that circle underneath is completed in 2022. Very, very interesting. I can't believe I'm doing this audio again. So Bianchini crater is on the top left. You see a bridge-like object. You see that they have massive feet on the bottom of that massive beam or gate or bridge that's there. You can see that it's constructed and that it actually has feet going down to the surface to hold it there. There are areas to go upwards also. And you're going to notice a little structuring or little objects and sometimes blurry patches where you see that it looks like at the same time visually that all these structures are buried, or whether it be vegetation or not, or the cities, the secret cities, you can see those little objects and anomalies that are absolutely everywhere, littered all over the surface, but not just over the surface, over the big constructed objects, thus maybe also hiding or trying to hide those structures.